Yo, this is Dark, and here's a Mythic guide to the Stonevault. Alright, starting off in the first hallway, you're going to have to deal with the Ghastly Void Souls that are going to cast Howling Fear. It's a 4-second party fear, so if you get feared by one, you're probably going to get Chain Fear, and then you're going to wipe, and it's going to be a good time. If you're a Death Knight, you can Lichborn it, or you can AMS it, it doesn't matter to you because you're cool. Next will be the Curse Art Invaders. They have a 10-second dot called Void Infection, and they also do Arcing Void, which is the Chain Lightning effect, so make sure you're spread out from each other. Next will be Earth-infused golems that have a frontal ability called Seismic Wave. Tanks, you want to make sure you're facing them away from the group, otherwise you're going to be killing your teammates. They also have Ground Pound, that's a 40% slow. If you're a Death Knight, that doesn't really matter because you have Death's Advance and you don't get slowed anyways. Lastly, you got Loader Bots that will cast Pulverizing Pounce, indicated by a swirly that they're going to leap to. Just make sure you're getting out of it. First boss of the dungeon is Edna, E-D-N-A, Edna. To start the fight, she'll cast a volatile spike, summoning 3 spikes around the room. If you run into these spikes, they'll explode and do a shit ton of damage, so make sure you're aware of that. To take care of these spikes, she's also going to be casting Refracting Beam at every player, and you want these beams to go through the spikes, destroying them. Otherwise, she'll be casting Earth Shatterer that will destroy the spikes, and those will be doing massive, deadly AoE damage to the group, possibly wiping your ass. For a tank buster, she'll be doing Seismic Smash to the tank, doing a crap ton of physical damage, which will be putting a dot on the tank, Seismic Reverberation. This is dispellable. You don't want to just dispel it though. You want to kind of let it linger for a little bit before she does the next tank buster, because it will be giving the tank a shield, stone shield, that will be reducing damage taken by 50% for 6 seconds. So healers, don't screw over the tanks. Help us out. We need you. And that's it for Edna. For the trash going to Skarmorak, you got Voidbound Despoilers, who have a heavy AoE non-kickable Void Outburst that you want to pop AoE cooldowns to help your team out. Next, you got Turn Speakers that will be casting Censoring Gear that will silence you, so make sure you're kicking that as a priority. Next are Howlers with their Piercing Well. It's an AoE that does damage to all players. That also puts a stacking debuff on you, increasing the damage by 10% of all the next Piercing Wells. Turn Speakers also have a slow concussive smash that will slow you for 20%. Who gives a shit? There's not really much to dodge here. Void Touch Elementals will cast little swirlies on the ground. They're pretty small, easy to get out of, even if you're slowed by 20%. The second or third boss, Skarmorak, will do Crystallizing Smash to the tank, doing alright damage, so make sure you're popping a cooldown for that. It will also spawn crystal shards, indicated by swirlies, that will be shot around the room. These crystal shards you want to kill. Try killing one at a time. Higher levels of Mythic, you might kill yourself because they also do a bunch of shadow damage once destroyed. He'll also cast Unstable Crash, which is an AoE around him. Make sure you gain out of that circle. And he'll shoot little swirlies after the cast is over as well, and just dodge those. Alright, for his ultimate ability, he'll be doing a Fortified Shell once he's at 0 energy. And he'll be reclaiming any crystal shards that are left, so make sure you're killing those so he doesn't have any to claim, because that will make the shield stronger and harder to break. Using the Unstable Crash orbs that were left on the ground, you want to grab those to do 50% more damage to the shield to break it faster. During the shield, he'll be casting Void Discharge, which will be doing 10% more damage every 2 seconds, and is only kickable after the shield is destroyed, so make sure you're getting through that shield, baby. And that's it for Skarmorak. Alright, heading to the Forge Speakers. Master Machinist trash. Starting off with the Forge Bound Mender, they'll have the priority kick here with Restoring Metal. It will be healing their allies, so make sure you're kicking that every time. Next, you got the Forge Loader that will do a Molten Mortar on a couple players, shooting a little fireball and leaving a dot on you, and this dot stacks, so make sure you're popping a cooldown if necessary. They also have Lava Cannon, which is going to be a huge lava ball coming at you, so just make sure you're not in the way of that. For the tanks in this area, you want to watch out for the Earthen Forge Hands. They do a Fracture, which is a stacking dot debuff that increases your damage taken for 8 seconds for 5%, so that can get out of hand really quick and you get your ass one-shotted, so be careful. Again, the second or third boss, the Forge Speakers. With the Forge Speakers, you want to kill them at the same time, otherwise the one who's surviving will be doing a huge deadly AoE that will most likely wipe the group if they're not already close to death. Speaker Brock will do Exhausting Vents, which is going to shoot lava pools out of the 3 vents that are on fire. You usually want to move to the one that's not lit up to get to the safe zone, and then you wait for the circles to disappear, and then you are good. He'll also do Molten Metal Cast. That's kickable. Make sure you're kicking it every time. Otherwise, he's going to be doing a crap ton of fire damage to everyone for 8 seconds and slowing you for 50%. He'll be doing Scrap Song. That pushes a big block of metal through the middle of the room. Make sure you're not in the middle. If you get hit by it, you're going to die. For the guy in the mech suit, he'll be doing Lava Cannon, which is just like the trash mobs. He'll be pointing at a random player and shooting that. Just make sure you're not in the way of it. For the tank, he'll be busting you with his hammer, doing a bunch of fire damage, so make sure you're popping defensive for that. And for his ultimate ability, he'll be doing Blazing Crescendo, where he pulls a big box of metal in the middle of the arena. Do not be standing in it, or you will die from the explosion. The explosion will AoE everyone regardless, and it will also be shooting big fire waves at you, so dodge those. And that's it, and a reminder, make sure you kill him at the same time or you're going to kill yourself. Alright, last hallway on to the final boss. You're going to have the Stone Forge Honor Guard. They're going to do Shield Stampede, indicated by a blue arrow on the ground. It's basically a charge. DPS healers, you'll get one-shotted by this. I've seen it many of times already. Just make sure you're getting out of their charging lane. And then for the tanks, they'll also do Stonebreaker Strike. That just does a little heavy hit. Ooh, not that scary. Who cares? Then you got the Curse Forged Stone Shapers that are going to be doing Stonevault. Who cares about that? Their main thing is going to be Earth Burst Totems. It's going to be a totem they summon. If it explodes, it's going to do huge AoE damage. I've seen it wipe people like myself. It was fun. Make sure you're prioritizing that totem, killing it quick. The last mob in the hallway is going to be the Rock Smashers, doing a Rock Smash to the tanks, which is a frontal ability that you want to face away from the team. Rock Smash will also put a debuff, increasing damage of the next Rock Smash to you, so make sure you are killing them fast. And they'll also do Granite Eruption, which is just a bunch of swirlies. Just make sure you're moving out of those. The final boss, Void Speaker, Eric, whatever. His main ability here is going to be Void Corruption, which is a shadow dot that he'll put on everyone, increasing damage you take by 25% every 3 seconds. The only way to get rid of this debuff is to take it to the Void Rifts that are around the room, and that's how you remove it. Once you dispel Void Corruption with the Void Rift, that Void Rift will move to a new location, which will need to be dispelled by the next person who gets Void Corruption. And then one other note for the Void Rifts, if you walk into it without the debuff on you, you will die instantly. He also has Unbridled Void, which is a huge frontal. Just get out of the way of it and don't take damage from it, unless you're a bozo. Lastly, you got a Tropic Reckoning, which is going to put a circle on each player, doing shadow damage within 8 yards of you, so don't stack on each other. These are going to also drop a puddle of shadow crap on the ground, so make sure you're spreading them out and not messing up the room for you, because you're going to need a lot of space, especially when the keys get higher. And that's it for that, dude. Hopefully you guys killed it. If you didn't, that sucks. Good luck on the next one. Peace.